Jonesy, we did it. 200 of the best. We actually forgot to mention it on the actual podcast.
Yeah, typical because, we're not about the accolades, mate. No. We just get in and we do our job for the drifters. But 200, the double ton.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people in that stratosphere, I guess.
I wouldn't have thought so. Considering where we started, which was extremely poor audio quality, filming off iPhones, I think it's fair to say that this whole setup has changed, and there's a significant reason for that.
Yes, there is significant reason for that. So without further ado, I'd like to thank the good people at Ned's. 200 episodes, wow, thanks for the support. Couldn't have done it without them, definitely. Not only, are they great at supporting us, allowing us to do what we want to do for the drifters, we've also got a great app, mate.
Yes. Oh, and tell you what, there's some self-trumpeting going on my profile this week. And I'm sharing to my Ned's profile my $28 ticket of Storm Boy and just letting everyone know about it. But I also had traffic warden as well during the week. So, if you're on the Ned's profiles there, you can copy our bets, and we'll no doubt have some from this week's selections as well, but you'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, you'll have to listen. And look, there's plenty of others that we've spec'd at big prices in futures markets. Check out our April futures preview podcast if you want to, have a spec responsibly in some markets for the championships in particular. But yeah, mate, look, it's a brilliant weekend of racing, stacks of Group 1, stacks of stakes races. I cannot wait. And you know what? Next week, you'll be a married man.
I know. Isn't that wild?
It is wild. It is absolutely wild.
But what are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.
I need to ask you a question. Be curious, drifters.
Mr. Brightside spins them up and wins again. Zardozi wins the Oaks for J-Mac. The photo finish. Mr. Brightside or Romantic Warrior. The mare's going. Great guns. Fangirl. Look at her go. Fangirl. Imperatrice has got her. And raced on by Imperatrice by a length.
Overpass. More Baker's Delight in Perth.
Radina just won it, I'd say. Tom Kedden won the spring champion in a cakewalk. Without a fight, won the Caulfield Cup.
Well, it's been a week. It's been a big week.
Huge.
Tell you what, did Craig Williams just step under a ladder during New Year's or something? Or what's going on?
I don't know. He's you might find him lurking around in a boxing gym because he's been a bit of a punching bag recently, hasn't he?
Oh mate, Craig's had it tough.
Yeah.
What were your initial thoughts on the whole Brightside yarn?
Oh, look, I thought it was a bit ridiculous.
So basically the ownership group took it to a vote if he retains the ride on Brightside into the future.
Yeah. Bit ridiculous, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, look, I think, in the great game, as an owner, ultimately you have the right to make the decision when it comes to your horse. And by extension, who rides your horse?
Yes.
That is the case. So rightly or wrongly, that they reserve that right. But as commentators on the great game and participants in the great game, as might I add, very recreational punters, very recreational.
Yes.
We also have a right to express our opinion. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's right or not, but I thought it was a bit absurd, to be honest. Whatever happened to, a good horse being beaten by another good horse who was better on the day?
I 100% agreed.
Did J-Mac get kicked off Animo? So like last time I checked, Animo didn't have a perfect record.
No. Are they just expecting Winx? Are we expecting Winx from our modern day champions? Is that what the owners are expecting, or are they just sniffing their own farts of their own horse?
Potentially. Look, I think there's a lot of owners in Mr. Brightside, right? First and foremost. I don't think that an overwhelming majority of those owners wanted Craig Williams off. I think like everything in society, those with the strongest opinions and the loudest voice sometimes get heard. I think there's probably a few owners who have lost a fair whack of cash and just have unrealistic expectations and therefore kicked up a stink and this is what's happened.
You know what I got the vibe of was Ben Hayes talking. I saw him talking in snippets on radio. He was like, "Oh, we never wanted Craig off the ride," but he said, "Like we were frustrated after the race." So that makes me think that he's given him an absolute fucking bake.
Yeah,
like immediately after the race, going like, "Mate, what the fuck were you doing?" And then in the wash up of it, he's gone like, "Well, actually, he couldn't win." Like, and then he's gone like, "Oh, we actually got beaten by a good horse." So I feel like in that straight after a race where everyone can be emotional, I wouldn't be surprised if Ben Hayes has just gone to the ownership group like Craig's cost us the win there. And then in the wash-up, he's probably going like, "Oh, actually, that might be a bit harsh."
Yeah, maybe. It's all speculation, but I think that's a good take.
Yeah.
32 starts, 28 of which I think Willow's been on for, I think 14, 15 wins, 6 Group 1s.
Yep.
An All-Star Mile.
He wasn't on for that. That was Luke Curry.
Oh, yeah, it was Luke Curry.
So Luke Curry was on for the All-Star Mile. Purton was on for the Doncaster. And I think Opie rode him for that one start over in New Zealand.
Yeah, so there you go.
So
yeah, a bit absurd.
Yeah, very absurd. Gold Trip, tendon injury. How do you, if that, hopefully he gets back on the track. Apparently it's on the softer side of a tendon injury, whatever that means. But if we're not to see Gold Trip on the track again, how will you remember Gold Trip?
Oh, look, a genuine stayer, right? Wet decker, good horse. Could run on a bit. What about you?
Yeah. Flemington wet track.
Bully.
Yeah. He was an absolute bully there. Very good. One of the best on his day, but he just decided when that day was from time to time. Like he only had 3 career wins.
Exactly. He could run on a bit.
Yeah.
But a very good horse.
So
I would love to have owned him.
Absolutely. About a year ago, that absolutely blew our minds that a guy that we used to go to school with in the ownership. Well, his dad is. Top 5 horses in the country. Cooper Cordless of needing a cord fame.
Yep, has no cord.
Has 0 cords. Top 5 horses in the country. Fascinated to hear after recent developments, obviously, and the caveat that we gave last time, horses that are currently racing that aren't currently injured. So the likes of, I've left out Fangirl, I've left out the likes of
Giga
Kick and Without a Fight as well.
Yeah. Not much has changed for me, to be honest, mate. Like, Imperatrice is still the best horse in the country.
Okay.
So she's my numero uno, and I think Mr. Brightside's still my number 2.
Yep.
So that hasn't changed. How's your Quincy looking?
I still have, reluctantly, Brightside on top after the recent events. I just hate when owners are greedy anyway.
He's not going to be one of yours. I know he's never really been one of yours, but is that going to throw you off him from now on?
I don't know. Maybe I was emotional when I was texting the other day. But, yeah, I don't know. I just...
Doesn't bother me. I still like him.
Let's put it this way. I won't be on him just because of his profile in the Australia Cup. I won't be backing him just because there's too many questions for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I have Brightside still on top. Imperatrice number 2, and that was the exact same I had, but the rest of mine have kind of changed position.
Yeah, they've sort of had to, haven't they?
Yeah.
Just with things that have changed a lot and horses that are injured and whatnot. You'd have to put Pride of Jenny in there.
She's my number 3.
You have to. Like, I know that we talk about recency bias, but
she's done it 3 times.
Done it 3 times, and what made me put her number 3 is if she went to a Doncaster with 55.5 kilos, I think she'd be incredibly hard to beat.
Yeah.
If she was racing in the George Ryder this weekend, for example, I think she'd be incredibly hard to beat. Look, if she loses the Australia Cup over 2,000 metres, I don't think that's any chink in her armour. You can be the best miler in the country, and that's fine.
You can be the best miler in the country and run second in a Cox Plate.
Yeah, exactly. So I think she'd have to be number 3, wouldn't she?
So I'm fascinated to hear your 4 and 5 because I had her as number 3 as well.
Yeah. This was tricky because I had Militarise in my top 5 last time, and he went down to Celestial Legend in the Ranvet Guineas, and so it's hard to know who the best 3-year-old is as it stands right now. So yeah, the 4 and 5 were tough, but I still think you have to think about it in there.
Yep. I think did you have him in last time? I think you might have left him out.
I can't remember. I must have had him.
Yeah.
Like he resumes run second, wasn't given the best steer, wide gate. Full disclosure, I'm not with him in the George Ryder this weekend because he's drawing poorly again, and I need to see it from him over this distance.
Yep.
But Everest winner, won the best race in the country, the Stradbroke. Like he didn't do anything first up to make me jump off him.
No, he's my number 4. So your number 5, I think we're on the same page. I reckon you've gone this direction as well.
Well, look, don't keep all your cards close to your chest. I've shown you mine. Show me yours.
Storm Boy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Storm Boy is, yeah.
You know, I was thinking about this during the week. Is this Golden Slipper the most important race in the Australian horse racing industry since Winx retired? For the entire landscape of it, the implications, if he wins.
Yeah, you could say that definitely without giving it any thought. Yeah.
Name a bigger one, because what we have on as a prospect is a Southern Hemisphere Justify cult that will basically, there'll be so many people just lining up for him to go to stud.
I think, that the shockwaves it'll send through the breeding industry in the Southern Hemisphere are so significant, definitely. The other race that comes to mind, probably a little bit biased, is my guy Mo in the Cox Plate. For him to win that, to be a genuine, modern day champion and a stallion, probably the most important stallion prospect since So You Think, right? That's an enormous win, but does it pale in comparison to this Golden Slipper? It doesn't pale in comparison. That's a bit harsh, but no, you're right.
Yeah.
If he comes out and brains them, you're thinking, gee whiz, is this guy going to be the most important sire in Australia?
Yeah.
And 20 years' time, you're going to look back and think, gee whiz, he's had, a sensational career at start and so on and so forth. So, yeah, man, it's a good take.
We may as well get into it because there's plenty to preview. Golden Slipper, this is the race of the autumn, and I cannot wait for it to come around on the weekend. It's almost like the Everest of the autumn, I'd say, just because it's who's going to get a run? I like this 2-year-old form. I'm taking on this form, and honestly, mate, I was looking through this field. Ruta Royale is 200 to 1. And if he won, I honestly would not be shocked. He's been really, really good in, inferior races, but a horse like that, I could even see running a really decent race. And he's at the moment, 151 to 1. So I think there's class top to bottom. I think it's a great crop. Storm Boy, barrier 2, $2.15 with the good people at Ned's. I reckon you probably will get better on the day. Ryan Moore, what are your thoughts? Rails into 2 meters. The big rain day was supposed to be today, Wednesday, and it's kind of missed.
Yeah, and I looked at the forecast, Bureau of Meteorology, for the rest of the week in Sydney. And look, how reliable are they?
Don't know, but temperatures are mild. It's currently rated a soft 6. I reckon let's aim for a soft 6.
I reckon we're going to be playing on a soft deck, and it's not going to be heavy. So
if it gets to a good, I reckon it'll be a genuine good.
Yeah, so That's what I'm praying for, a softer side of good, and that's how I've done the form. Look, Storm Boy, we've just said, is in our top 5 horses in the country, and some drifters listening will be thinking like, oh, what's he done so far? And I think fair enough. That's fair enough. We've put him in the top 5 based on potential, more than anything else, which might be a bit contrary to what we've said in the past.
Yeah.
Of like, show us your CV, like what's the body of work? But
think it over would be very frustrated. You know,
he's a good horse. He's a good horse, and like then horses like Militarize and so on and so forth. But this guy's the real deal. Yeah. The real deal. Like if we're talking about could be the best 2-year-old we've seen.
Yeah.
You know, in the 10 or so years I've been watching horse racing and the 7 or so 8 that I've been watching it closely, like easily the best I've seen.
Yeah.
Without having won the Golden Slipper yet.
Yeah.
Gate 2, perfect. Like I saw some people being like, oh, inside, like who's going to cross and get in front of him and so on and so forth. It's like, okay, so would you rather take 12 then? Like what?
Like
I think if whatever barrier he drew,
yes,
people were going to find a reason to pot him.
100%, mate. Absolutely.
So 2's fine. Ryan Moore versus J-Mac. Like if there was any jockey in the world who was going to jump on my horse and J-Mac was being kicked off, like you don't lose anything with Ryan Moore. You know, I saw some people coming out and saying like, oh, don't know how he's going to fare with the 2-year-old racing our style here and blah, blah, blah. It's like he won the Golden Slipper last year on Shinzo and it was a brilliant ride being like, okay, I know 2-year-olds are going to fan out. I'm just going to take the rail.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's the other commentary is like, oh, geez, these 2-year-olds, they'll hold them on the fence, which I think they will, but also given the stakes for this race in particular, they will try and win it.
Yeah.
So by that, and we've mentioned this several times, and go back a couple of years and listen to the preview of Fireburn winning that because we predicted it word for word. But I reckon he gets in the coffin behind the leaders. The leaders will fan because some of them still crab. They're still learning their craft. This thing's the most professional. I reckon he'll get a run at some stage at the top of the straight.
He's a bully. He'll bully his way out.
And Brian Moore, mate, he doesn't care if he gets suspended.
No.
Like, there's so much at stake for him as well.
Yeah.
First Group 1 for a Coolmore colt. Whew, my God. So, you know, let's put it this way. If he drew 16, I'd be like, that sucks. Maybe he's classy enough. Like maybe he'll do it similar to what he did at the Magic Millions. But in the 2-year-old races, mate, they all pretty much. You have to be really unlucky not to get your chance.
Definitely. And you've been saying for to your point, a few years around 2-year-olds finding the fence, and I saw a stat today or yesterday. Something ridiculous, like 17 of the last 20 Golden Slipper winners have found the rail at some point in the running.
Yeah.
So you're telling me this guy's not going to?
Mate, it's like there's so many ticks in his corner. Like here's their clear on top selection. So, all right, let's play devil's advocate then.
Yeah.
Storm Boy out.
Yep.
Who are the threats?
Well, Switzerland's the key threat. And I'll know a lot of people like, probably, I reckon the commentary, generally speaking, is a 50-50 split between Storm Boy and Switzerland. And I understand that. And a lot of people, their reasoning behind it is like, oh, I can't dive into Storm Boy at that price. And that's fair enough. Like, particularly if you're a professional punter or if you're a punter who has a staking plan, so to speak, and you're looking to draw, let's say you're betting to withdraw 5 units every time that you bet, right? Yeah, obviously you have to outlay more to get 5 units back on Storm Boy as opposed to Switzerland, right? That's 2.5 units versus 1. Like I understand that, but we're not that, mate.
No.
We're recreational punters. I'm sure a lot of the drifters listening right now are recreational punters. What do they want when they bet on a race? They want a return.
Yep.
Not even value. They want a return.
Yeah.
So like if I've got $20 on Storm Boy, and he wins, guess what I get back? $40. If I've got $20 on Switzerland at 5s and he doesn't win, guess what I have? $0.
Yep.
So to me, Storm Boy's a clear on top selection. The key threat has to be Switzerland. He's drawn absolutely perfectly because he's going to sit behind the speed just like he did in the Todman. And Bruce McAvaney said it, and I think he might be bloody right. You see Storm Boy break away from the pack with a furlong left, and there's one guy coming out with him to have one last go at him, and that's Switzerland. And I believe that.
Yep.
He's taken everything before him, and Chris will have him right on the day.
Coolmore, Quinella. I like it.
Easily.
I shared with you, and a few drifters actually jumped on as well, because after the barrier draw came out, there was a ridiculous price. Traffic Warden. $51 he was. He's come into 31s now. For shout out to the few drifters that jumped on, because we've secured the overs there, but I reckon he jumps half that price. I reckon he jumps with the 2 in front of it.
He's 31s now. Yeah. Traffic Warden, that's an absurd price they put up. I really like the 1,400 metres, given an easy time. And
slowly run.
Yep.
Back to a fastly run 1,200 metres.
Draws perfectly. Yep. He's by Street Boss. Willow won. Wouldn't it be bloody ironic for Willow to come out and win the slipper?
Yeah. Godolphin's heating up. Let them cook.
So yeah, he's in my numbers for sure.
So yeah, keen to hear. Let's give out like a trifecta or a first 4 situation. So who do you have? Yeah, Storm Boy.
Storm Boy's clear on top selection. And no favours for anyone who picks him and he wins. But I want to see him win. I want to see him brain him. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Just so we can talk about it forever. Switzerland's clear second selection. Traffic Warden running into the top 4 as well. And I don't know how you'll feel about this, but I've got Hayasugi running 4th.
Mate, we have the exact same for top 4.
There you go.
We haven't done that for a minute, so we are having, and the stars could align this weekend for being one of the great weekends of all time.
Really could be.
Yeah, only switch just because I've got the tickets for both Storm Boy at $28, play my own trumpet here, and then Traffic Warden at 51s. So I have them in top 2.
Yep.
Storm Boy on top, Switzerland for 3rd. Hayasugi, I like that take.
Yeah, and reason being, typically the Blue Diamond winner heading into a slipper, it's like, 2-year-olds have 2 grand finals. Slipper form, diamond form doesn't really hold up in the slipper super often. But what we've seen from this filly, she just gets better and better, and she's got a turn of foot.
Yep.
So she's going to have a dash at him late. And I'm not saying she wins. I'm saying she runs top 4, and that's different.
Yeah, exactly. And if I think back to, all right, so the better performed Blue Diamond winners in recent years, right? I reckon Tagaloa, he came up for a prep run in Sydney, and then it's like, Dormier, I reckon, might have gone straight there, and I reckon he ran like 3rd or 4th.
Lyre, she won the diamond, then ran 3rd.
Yep.
In the slipper. Animo didn't win the diamond, but he ran super well in a slipper.
So I think if you have the right type of filly, and the other thing is I think we've kind of gone around those horses that have drawn 7 in as well. Hayasugi, if the rail is off, like Barrier 16 could be the place to be.
Yeah, Jay Caron. She's in scintillating form.
Barrier 16, there's worse roughies in the race for sure.
And look, she's double the price of Lady of Camelot. And Lady of Camelot was brave in the diamond, but I still think she didn't go so fast that she couldn't win. You know what I mean? Like I think, and plus you compare the diamond to the slipper, the amount of pressure up front, I think she'll crumble.
Yeah,
I think there's one horse who's going to absorb it up front and kick away, and that's Storm Boy.
Yeah,
because he's better than King of Sparta. He's 2.
It's a good case, and he's just fucking yoked.
He's just so yoked. And look, we might have the inside word from Cornwall potentially that he's clearly their number 1 seed.
You'd fucking want to hope so if they're paying up to 50 million for him. So, all right, I like it. That gets lead right in my pencil. Cannot wait. Let's go to race 5, the Ranvet Stakes. Weight for age, 2,000 metres, Group 1. Oof. Tell you what, this has a bit of a whiff to it. Riff Rocket, dual accepted. Military Mission, dual accepted on the same card. So in all likelihood, Riff Rocket goes to the Rosehill Guineas from looking at Waller's kind of preview. If I'd say of those two runners that are dual accepting in other Group 1s, I'd say Militarize is more likely to run in the Ryder.
Yeah,
so
I think so.
Just be careful of that. Military Mission, I'd say, you go here for the better prize money for it to run top 4, you know what I mean? Especially if Riff Rocket comes out. Anyway, these internationals, have you done the form of them? Do you want me to run through it?
I've had a bit of a look at Via Sistina, and she brings over some pretty good form.
My God, mate. So if you were listening to our April previews of the futures markets, you would have already heard this, but Via Sistina, so second in the Champion Stakes at Royal Ascot. So that was that race that Frankie Dettori won on those purple colours, and it was like his last ride, supposed to be his last ride at Royal Ascot, and he gets the win, right? So she runs second to that, only beaten by like a length or so. You know who else was in that race? Dubai Honor. She brained him by 6 to 8 lengths. Now, Dubai Honor did come back as well, but that was also on a soft track. So, and Dubai Honor was like the best swimmer that has ever been seen, allegedly. So I went hunting on YouTube for some views, right? And Jamie Spencer was her rider over in the UK. All right. This is his quote on her when she's on wet tracks. When it's soft, she's just a very different horse. Jamie rode her the other morning on good ground, and we were pleased with her, but we know when it rains, she just quickens her stride. She's not so free now, and she's able to relax, and I think that's what is going to allow her to get better and better. So the stable, Chris Waller, the current stable now, so he said that this thing is just the real deal. Like, I'm looking at this market, right, and with all due respect to Think It Over, for our middle distance ranks, I have to be
with her.
Have to
be with her. We've learnt this, mate. Like,
yeah.
we say it every single time and we don't do it. Egg on our face. Look, sometimes we dive into things that are internationals and they run like a busted.
Yep.
Which is so fair. But I think in this case, you just think of Dubai Honor. And I just would feel like an absolute idiot to let her go around at $3.50, brain them here, and get half the quote for the Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah.
So I actually don't know what price she's in that market, but
$5 you still get for the Queen Elizabeth, at least when we did the preview on Sunday. So we gave out that as one to follow. So, take that quote now. If you don't want to bet on her here, bet her on the $5 there. If she runs like top 2, she'll shorten.
Yeah.
The other one, Place to Carousel. So she's only run on rain-affected ground her entire career. Now, I think she's a French mare. So, or, she was running in France. So, or around Europe, Now, they do have some form lines that are actually interlinked. So above the curve is the horse. So Via Sistina beat him by about 2 to 3 lengths, where Place to Carousel beat him by 1. So, on like raw figures, like Via Sistina's got a couple of lengths on this thing, and the market would kind of suggest that. And then the Group 1 that she won in France was on a heavy 10, and she started 66 to 1. So it's like the market didn't really like her. So she is out and out swimmer. Like, she's probably better than a lot of ours.
That's the exact point I was going to make is, like, would you call this a vintage Group 1, mate?
Absolutely not.
So I think you're looking at this thinking, okay, right, there's no Animo here, there's no Very Elegant here, there's no what are some other good middle distance horses we've had recently? Alligator Blood. There's no
Without a Fight.
I'm Thunderstruck, Without a Fight. Like, so this is thin. So if there's ever a time to back an international with decent enough odds that, you're going to get a return.
Yeah.
This is the time. The other one that I would be keen to get your thoughts on is Buckaroo.
Yeah. Fascinated the 1400 up to the 2000. Again, stable said that that's always the plan, so maybe he races better when he's fresh. Cut out of the ground is a positive for him as well, I think. But I don't know. I'm not as hot on him, I guess. I'm really keen on this mare, Via Sistina.
Yeah, she's my on top selection.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Buckaroo?
I like him, but I don't like him at $4.
Yeah.
Because I can get effectively that price for Via Sistina.
Yep.
I would have been keen on him at better odds, like 7 or 8s maybe. Yep. But I wouldn't be surprised to see him run a bottler. Ryan Moore goes on. So Via Sistina on top for me.
Yep.
I'm leaving the other international thing. Looking into her background was plenty for me. Via Sistina, I'm not going to look any further than that. I think it will run a race and Buckaroo will as well.
Yeah, agreed. Same numbers. So let's go. Oh, there you go. Breaking news as we are here live. Rosehill Guineas race 6, militarised, scratched.
Yeah, good.
So he runs in the George Ryder. Fascinating. All right, speed in the race. I thought it was likely to be like Gambare from down low. I think Ducasse has finally drawn a gate and can sit on speed as well. And maybe Cosmic Lag can show some toe. Now, Kitty Cat Tom. He drew barrier 1 in the Rosehill Guineas. He draws barrier 2 here. Bowman on first time. Loses nothing there. Now, I reckon he can sit about midfield. And now Hugh isn't the most positive of jockeys. Like, he's the perfect jockey for the Chris Waller stable. Now, I think he was terribly unlucky in the Ranvet Guineas, Tom Kitten. I think he goes really close to winning.
Clear on top selection. Mate, it's Kitty Cat Tom's time.
It is.
It's his time, isn't it?
You know why? He's had 6 runs at 1,600 metres or further. He's never been outside the top 4, ever.
It's Kitty Cat Tom's time. Little bit nervous about the deck, but the forecast is what swayed me.
And maybe I missed this in his form profile, but he has won on heavy as well. So it's like he has gotten through it before, but the other thing is like those soft runs are prep runs a lot of the time at, your 1,400 or your 1,300 metres. Like, that's not his jam. 2,000 metres. Honestly, I could see this horse as like the three-year-old threat in the Queen Elizabeth. I really could.
Mate, this goes back to my point that I was talking about in the Futures Preview podcast, Drifters, if you haven't listened. Some compelling discussion around April futures markets. I said follow the 3-year-olds because and this is why, honestly, Chris Waller has dual nommed Militarise and Riff Rocket. Like, yeah, by the sounds of it, Riff Rocket will run here. But the reason why Riff Rocket's here is because Militarise is going to the George Ryder. But Riff Rocket was also nominated for the Ranvet because he's thinking, geez, these weight for age races are easy pickings until he's seen Via Sistina do some work.
Yep.
So he's like, look, am I a better chance of beating Kitty Cat Tom or am I a better chance of beating Via Sistina? The fact that Riff Rocket's heading here gives me more confidence in the international. But anyway, Kitty Cat Tom is the bet in this race, mate. Like, getting out to 2,000 metres, gate 2, Hugh Bowman on. Like, he's not here to fuck spiders, mate. Huey, he's coming down. He's like, fucking flying in from Hong Kong. Fucking Kitty Cat Tom, get here, wrestle him over the colt. And just smooth. He's a perfect rider for him, mate. Perfect rider for him. I don't know clear on top selection.
I don't know where Bowman is in the Hong Kong jockey rankings in terms of wins or something.
He is so good.
He's R&Ping over there.
Mate, R&Ping.
Like, he's taken some serious cash. And you know what? When he comes back, he's like, goes to J-Mac, he's like, fuck, mate. What are you doing here?
J-Mac, it's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
And I'd be disappointed if J-Mac was here in 5 years. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like,
100%.
I'd be disappointed.
Yeah. 100%. We lose him, but then, Nash gets the best rides.
Yeah.
As a granddad, probably.
Yeah, exactly. So, Kitty Cat Tom, clear on top selection for me. And then that leaves the question, like, Riff Rocket. We thought he could come out and win an Australian Cup not too long ago.
Exactly.
What's making you lean towards Kitty Cat Tom over Riff?
I don't know. Riff Rocket's best runs for me have been at Flemington. Like, that's the thing for me. So it's like, and who was with all due respect to Craig, who was his horse?
Snowman.
Snowman. Where is that horse?
Yeah, where is Snowman?
Yeah.
I think he's injured.
So with all due respect, to Snowman and the connections of Snowman.
Especially the connections.
Well, he's no Tom Kitten.
No.
So, and I think Riff Rocket went down that day, right? So I kind of need to see Riff Rocket do it on his Sydney leg a little bit more than what he's done, because to me, and it's been a very small sample size, he hasn't shown the brilliance that he has at Flemington. That's it.
I'm with you. 100% with you. And Riff Rocket has given me not ick vibes, but
Flash in the pan vibes.
no, I wouldn't say that. Like, I think he's really good, but I don't think they've had a clear prep for him. I don't think they've had a clear idea as to where they want to run him. Whereas you can't tell me Kitty Cat Tom's had anything else on the agenda except for this race.
That's what
and potentially the Derby.
That's what I love about Godolphin. They set their plans out so far back, and because they don't have the amount of runners that Chris Waller does, they don't have to kind of like play this kind of internal chess. So, Tim Kitten. On top for me, Riff Rocket in for second, and I do think the stablemate Cap Ferrar. So fascinating to hear what Charlie Duckworth of Right Hand Man to Chris Waller fame, mate, he said this thing will beat home Riff Rocket in this race.
Shit.
On his preview, everyone can see it on Twitter. He said the best each way bet or best roughie of the day for Chris Waller in the major races is Cap Ferrar. So I think this thing is flying. Ryan Moore on. I could see stranger things happening.
Yeah, I could see stranger things happening, like, you know, this thing breaking its maiden before counter. Fucking hell.
Joe Pride's Chill Wolf, another. I'm keen to see that horse out to 2,000 metres as well. But yeah, Kitty Cat Tom, clear on top selection. Now, the George Ryder, I feel like we could get weird and exotic here. My God, there is 19 runners in this field. So I did see a tweet for the 1,500 metres at Rosehill. I don't think they've run this many, like all that often. So it's like there's never been a winner from Barrier 17 in like the last 10 years or something. But I think there's only been like 10 races or something. Yep. So think about it. I think they'll be surely there's a few that come out. But think about a Barrier 17.
Disgusting.
Tough, isn't
it? Sorry, bro, but like, where does he get to in the run? 1,500 meters. Like, said he was in my top 5 horse in the country. Doesn't mean he has to win this.
No. So the speed in the race, I thought Golden Mile could probably use that low barrier with maybe Unspoken, Bandersnatch, NCAP, and probably V8. I think they're your speed horses.
Amenable, probably roll forward.
I think he gets to run the race. Amenable.
Yeah.
Obvious query for him is a soft deck. So, you know, but you're getting $15 to find out. So his one run on a really heavy ground was that day where it was like hailing at Caulfield, I think it was, and Afcabin won by about 10 lengths.
Yep.
So
that's right.
Absolute non-event. The other runs on soft ground was pretty solid performances, but like for this horse at weight for age against this quality of opposition, he needed to draw well. Barrier 4 is perfect.
Sure is. It sure is. This race is weird. It gives me like handicap vibes, but it's not. Like 12 months is a long time in racing. Like, I don't know how many were in the field when Animo won it last year, but it certainly wasn't this many.
Mate, well, we haven't seen a rider like this because like before that it was Winx.
Yeah, true.
Like, and there'd be, you know, probably 7 or 8 rolling around.
Yeah, very true. Very true. So look, I'm really looking forward to this race. This is low key, like, you know, almost the race of the day, and that's really saying something. With obviously the Gold Slip's the race of the day, but you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean, mate. Continue.
Look, said it on the Futures preview podcast. I'm sticking with the 3-year-olds when it comes to weight for age. So you got a few here: Militarized, V8, NCAP, and Tiz Invincible. Militarized is the best out of them.
Yeah.
Love that he was scratched from the Rosehill Guineas because. I think he's better suited here. Gate 7, J-Mac, sit behind the speed, 1,500 metres. Like, maybe Militarized is a miler. Maybe that's his pet distance. I thought he was good in the Ranvet Guineas, beaten by a Smarty. Second up there in comparison to Celestial Legend, who was third up. Third up here, Militarized. weight for age, that suits. Drawn perfectly. A little bit of cut out of the ground. He's my clear on top selection.
Yep.
Don't know what price he'll start. He's $5 at the moment, but maybe he'll get jammed in a little bit. With good people at Ned's post scratching.
So think about it's $3.80. Militarized $5. I reckon they could start equal favourites around $4.40. I reckon.
Yeah, just with the size of the field, you're not going to get a lot of money jamming in for someone into like threes, are you?
Oh, surely not. Like, yeah, we've taken haircuts, but that would be ridiculous. Yeah, you want at least $4 a field, surely.
Yeah.
Mate, I can't be on at 50 to 1 and he starts 15s for amenable and not have him on top. I think he just maps to get the run of the race. Yeah. I really do. And I really did like that first up run, although he did go down to far inferior opposition than what he has here. But, on that, the way the track was playing that day, it was not an advantage to be on speed against that headwind. I think he'll come out of that far stronger, far better, second up suits. Mick Price, who's not, he's been, how can I say this politely? We've had our issues with Mick and his sweeping statements before. I think Mick is fantastic for the industry.
Oh, yeah.
But I take what he says with a pinch of salt.
Oh, yeah.
At least these days. But I'm going to lean fully into what he's saying about amenable.
You look like the GOAT if it wins.
So this thing's improved by 4 lengths since the gelding, he says. So happy to say, or happy to back him in, that is the case. There is 2 internationals in the race as well. Yep. So for their first starts in Australia, Mighty Ulysses and Cosmic Vegas, a Group 3 enlisted winners respectively. Around this distance against this opposition, I'm kind of happy to kind of risk them.
Both drawn, Cosmic Vega is drawn dross, but Mighty Ulysses is drawn well. So, But yeah, happy to watch them go around this time. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Pericles and Kovalika?
Yeah, they've just, they're going to have to go back. And it's like with them, grand finals to Doncaster, like I don't think they're already, I think they're both already in the field. It's no point in like giving them an absolute gut buster. So they're going to have to go back, take their medicine, prep run. You want to see them running well towards Doncaster.
Yep.
So maybe you bet on them in the Doncaster on either of those if you think they're going to run well.
Yep.
Think about it. 17. Is he in your numbers?
Yeah, just purely because he's so
Class.
good. Yeah, he's so good, and I want to see him run well because I want a horse who is going to be a weight for age horse over middle distances.
Lady Laguna?
Yeah, I think she'll run super as well. She's a mare in form. She's absolutely flying. First time out to 1,500 metres, I believe. So that's got to be a question mark. But, I'd be a braver man than me to leave her out of the numbers.
Yeah, absolutely.
So militarised on top. For me, I've got V8 running second. I think coming back to 1,500 metres, we see his legs give out at about the 1,500 metres. So got to stick with the 3-year-olds. Think about it into third and Lady Laguna fourth for me.
Nice. Amenable on top. Militarised into second. I did have NCAP, but Militarised jumps straight over him. So NCAP doesn't even make the placings here. Think about it for third. And then Lady Laguna, she's absolutely flying for fourth. The Galaxy. Now, this is another cracker. This is a brilliant race as well. So Privatise, your top weight, 58 kilos. You go right down the bottom. Without the emergencies, you have front page with 52.5. And if the likes of King's Gambit gets a run at 50 kilos, I swear we've seen this story before. That's kind of your market here, or your running order rather. So your favourite in the race, is it Afcabin? Is he? No, Osmosis, $4.20. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Aussie?
Oh, look, I think he's a good horse. Probably underestimated him in the Coolmore, to be fair. After one sort of off performance where he was clearly beaten by King's Gambit, I think if we go back to that resuming run, can't remember what the race was called, but when he beat Celestial Legend home, and then sort of was talking about Everest slots. I think that's what the plan was for Bjorn Baker was let's put him away here, and then hopefully get an Everest slot. Didn't work out. Comes back after that run and was disappointing, running third still. And then the 4-week gap to head down the straight, Flemington was perfect for him. So he's a really good horse. Do I have him as my $4.20 favourite on Top Selection in this race? Definitely not. I said I was talking about, I was keen to stick with the 3-year-olds, but at middle distance plus, right?
Yeah.
Like our sprinting ranks are still very good. Plus he's got to lug 53 kilos as a 3-year-old, which isn't too bad, but there's things down in the weights that I'd rather have.
Yeah.
And you'll probably know what's coming already, but my clear on Top Selection is Sunshine in Paris. She opened at 13. She's into 950 already. I couldn't believe, mate. I messaged you. I could not believe that this girl's only had 6 career starts.
Yes, mate. She could be anything.
She could be absolutely anything. She's already got a Group 1 to her name.
Yep.
First preps around stakes. If you go back to that field, she beat Zoo Gotcha, In Secret, and
Ruthless Dame.
Ruthless Dame.
And I think there's another good one back into 5th.
So that's 4 Group 1 winners, the top 4 there.
Yeah.
Like that's an unbelievable crop of fillies.
It's been 7 subsequent winners in a 13-horse field.
Yeah.
And that would be at like black type of performances, you know?
So as it stands right now, you'd say of those 4, In Secret's probably the best, which is saying something because Zoo Gotcha is very good. But Sunshine in Paris in 12 months' time could be the best.
Yep.
I just hope that she strings together a prep because she's a little bit injury prone. Clearly.
Who's Invader? Do you know anything about her side?
Invader, and I could be wrong, I think is by Schnitzel.
Okay.
I think he didn't win a slipper, he won a size produce.
Okay.
I think it's pretty lightly raced. So
Yeah, okay. Don't fact check that, but, you know, that's the type of operation we got here. Declan, the bloody encyclopedia.
I'm just going to Google that in the background. But, look, the way that she was trialling reminded me of how she was trialling leading into that Group 2 Scirocco Stakes that she won first up. That got her an Everest slot.
You're stealing my notes this week, honestly. Like, her trials, don't even bother. Like, she just goes around there, does enough, but, like, she's a game day performer. 6 starts, 4 wins, a second and a third. Like, she came, I think, starting her career in the Sunshine State as well. I think that's like, you know, they kind of furnish, they come through the coat better. Obviously, I think in how that Everest rated down on like to be like one of the worst ones, I think, like, who knows what she does in that?
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's like Espiona ran well in that race. She absolutely brained Espiona. So, mate, I agree. Like, I've been talking about this horse in bloody all the sprinting handicaps. I can't not have her on top. $9.50 is still generous. The one I'm terrified of is Afcabin.
Yeah, same.
Second up off a bleed. Unsure. They usually go so well first up, but he probably actually didn't have the chance to actually show what's under the hood. Trained as a sprinter, cut out of the ground, J-Mac on, barrier 8. Oh,
Weighted still well.
oh my God. This thing is like, I'm terrified of it.
Yeah, same here. They're my clear top 2. But I just Sunshine in Paris for me, like, to your point, we don't know how good she could be. Aft Cabin we know can put in a disappointing performance.
Yep.
But, you know, $5, I wouldn't be surprised if he starts favourite in this over osmosis. Going back to Invader, by Schnitzel.
Okay.
Won the size produce.
Oh, look at you go. My
Stands
God.
at Aquas Farm. There you
Fuck,
go.
you're good.
So they're my top 2. I think we do have the same notes this weekend.
Yeah.
Going back to osmosis.
Yep.
So what do you think about him?
Want to see it.
Yeah.
At $4.20, want to see it. You know, if he wins, so be it. Like, he's a very good colt. Mate, if you look at that first up win, have a look at what he beat. I'll read out the field again because I did have it up and then I took it down. But I'll get it up again, right? So, Celestial Legend, very good. Namesake, huh? Royal Tribute, no. Barber, definitely not. Fire Lane, no. Stanislaus, no. Cristilli, no. Like, Celestial Legend was before his time there, it's fair to say.
Celestial Legend is not a sprinter.
No. So you'd hope that he gives that field Winburn in retrospect. And obviously, like the Coolmore are far better performers, but maybe he gained a few lengths down the straight. I don't know. Like, I have no idea. So at this grade where he's, he hasn't got the weight relief, I want to see it.
Yeah.
Barry 13, sticky too.
Sticky. Where's he get to?
He'll use a bit of petrol early. So whereas Sunshine Paris Barrier 2, Ryan Maloney on, drawn to do zero work. Hopefully we'll sit forward to midfield and, pops out, bang.
Yep. On top selection for me, Aft Cabin into second place. Two mares rounding out my top four. Passive Aggressive and Asfura. Asfura, like gross behaviour in the Oakley plate. Wasn't weighted well. Get some weight relief here. Sticky draw, but she's $19, mate, and it would just be classic horse racing for her to run a bottler here when everyone's jumped off.
Yeah, I agree with that. Wanted to find a place for my old mate King of Sparta, but I couldn't, and I'm a big private eye guy, but with 58 kilos, and honestly, mate, I only get warm about this guy when he's 1,200 metres plus. I think he's completely irrelevant underneath 1,200 metres.
Yeah, what I will say about Private Eye is that from that gate he has to go back, and also from that gate you would imagine there'll be something to bring him into the race. I think that's what allows him to perform his best is when something brings him into the race from the back. The ride last time he jumped too well, and it just didn't set up well for him at all. But do you know what I think? I think Joe Pride should have swapped the preps that he's given Private Eye and bloody think about it. Honestly,
yeah.
But I'm not potting him. I just in a handicap I want to take him on.
Yeah. So we had the same top two. That is a Quinella I'll be having on my Ned's profile. Easy. Sunshine Paris first. Aft Cabin for second. I do have this trifecta could pay anything. I have Front Page running third. Mate, if he runs 52.5 kilos for Matthew Dale, one of the great trainers, mate, if he runs up to his first up run in the Kosciuszko,
that was unbelievable.
Like, I think we were giving him a bit of a push, and you're getting a little bit of a haircut now, but I think it was like $26 or maybe it was even 51s. I can't remember in our April Futures Market Preview podcast if you wanted to have a look. So, yeah, this horse, mate, 52.5 kilos. He did that in the Cosy with 59, beat a very classy mare in Opal Ridge. Like, soft ground kind of suits. He'll be the one kind of leading. And it's like, he's going to give him a bunny to chase. So I'd chuck Front Page into your quaddies, and then I have Passive Aggressive as well, who I would prefer at those shorter sprinting distances. Now, there is a Group 1 in Melbourne as well.
Shit.
Melbourne, what am I saying? Moonee Valley, rather. The William Reid for Point Motors. 1,200 metres Group 1 Wave for Age. I think Imperatriz could win this, mate. What do you reckon?
Do you know what I reckon? I reckon $1.75 might be a GIFT.
Yeah.
Oh, look, back to Moonee Valley,
mate.
Wait for Age. Like she's going to stalk. This time she's not going to lead either. She's going to stalk him and just breeze past him.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking as well was like, if I think the clear second horse that everyone has to have is Iron Me. Like, I don't know if you agree with that. Like, first up, she flies.
Dry deck.
I think the market did support her as well in the Manicato, where Imperatriz gave all of them Winburn. And what Imperatriz did that day as well was lead as well.
Yeah.
So it's like she's so versatile, but the Valley is key to her. Like, she's one of the best of the Valley I've ever seen.
She can be 3 wide, no cover, and still Branham.
Yeah.
So gate doesn't matter. $1.75 gift. Bella Nips in season. Again. Yeah. So remember she ran was that the weekend she won the Manicato? Was she in season?
Might have been.
Is that how it works for them?
What do you mean?
Like, how regularly are they in season?
Unsure.
No, I don't know.
I'm not an expert with that sort of stuff.
I'm definitely not. Definitely not. No. Apparently I can turn into an actual idiot during that time, to be honest. not an expert. You were the dumbest person I've ever met in my life during that time. So Imperatrice is easily the on-top selection for me. Cylinder, I get it. Like people watched him breeze past her down the Flemington Straight, but this is different gravy, weight for age. But he draws well. You know who's a big price at $23? King's Gambit.
Yeah.
Dual accepted. Where do you reckon he runs?
I think he runs. He needs to get run here, I think.
Is he in an emergency here as
maybe
well? He's
not. I reckon that's what. Maybe he needs to get run in the. He needs to get run in Sydney.
Yep.
So, he could. Maybe a tight turning valley is what he needs. To keep this nutcase focused. If he runs here, he's in my numbers for sure.
Yep. There you go.
But let's go back to let's finish on a high. Let's get this Moonee Valley card out of the way. So, race 2, the St. Albans Stakes. 2-year-olds, I reckon this could be the D or E graders. Let's spend zero time on this. I have Bitter Creek on top. Third in the sires behind, no, not the sires, but the Aardvark race heading into the sires. I think that's decent enough for him at $10 to kind of feature here.
Yeah, I'd tend to agree with that. But I'm just going to take the Blue Diamond form with Spywire. No gift at $2.70, but
it was crunched by the market. My God.
So maybe this will be a bit of consolation price for him.
Yeah. Not that they need it. The Sunline Stakes, race 5, 1,600 metres, Group 2 for the Fillies Mares. Weight for age. If you would remember, this is the race for all you Canedna fans that won this in 2019 before she went to Sydney and won the Queen of the Turf. So can spit out a good one. Campionessa, $3.20 favourite. I thought rolling high at $4.80. I'm eating all of that up.
Chips in. Get your chips in. We're talking about wax and we're talking about responsible wax, but she is a bet to nothing in this race at $4.80. Yeah, give me some of that, please.
Yeah, 54 kilos, sets up nicely.
Oh, yeah.
I agree with that. The Alexandria Stakes, 1,600 metres, Group 3, set weights and penalties. I'm a massive fan of Molly Knickers, but $2.40 seems awfully short to me.
It is short, mate. Vivier, the on-top selection for me. And I was going to mention, I forgot to, rolling high in the last race, if you like her, fair enough. I certainly do, but I couldn't talk you out of backing Legacies at double figures either. Yep. It was a nice win last start.
The stablemate.
The stablemate.
Is it?
Legacies is a moody horse as well. Yeah, so
he's a fucking genius.
He's a genius, mate. Vivier, the bet for me here, ran second to Legacy's last start. I thought that was fantastic, that run. So she's $5.50. I'd rather have her than, the $2.45 with Molly Knickers. She had every chance last start, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Oh, no, she didn't. No, Molly Knickers didn't. She was held up a lot of the straight.
Autumn Angel had a measure.
Oh, I don't know about that.
With my cash on.
Yeah, I think you're harsh on Molly there. But,
of course I am.
But am I sticking with her at $2.40? Absolutely not. Gringzinger Bell, barrier 1, draws a gate this time. Mick Dion did not lead that windy day at Flemington. I reckon that is what cost her.
She could bounce back here easily.
Absolutely. $7 for her. So that's the way I'm thinking there. Race 8 is the William Reid, covered that. Race 9 is the Don Casbolt Classic.
Race 7.
Oh,
we've got a stakes race.
Oh, yeah, the Alistair Clark. Yep. My apologies. 2,000 metres and 2,040 metres, Group 2 for the 3-year-olds. Set weights, you have basically all the unlucky ones or the ones wanting further from the Australian Guineas. So keen to hear your thoughts here. Quintessa, is she the favourite at $3.80?
Quintessa is. Happy to take her on, though. I think Apulia is a good bet, even though he's drawn the absolute car park, $8 with the good people at Ned's. What we know about this horse is that he's not going to be getting better until it gets out to these sort of distances. He was a nice winner, beating Vidad over this exact track and trip before the Vic Derby. Nearly beat Riff Rocket. 1,600 metres first up. It's not going to be his jam. I think he ran well enough. So Apulia, despite the shit draw, is the bet for me at 8s.
I thought there was a bet very similar, although different. Snow Patrol beat home the Australasian Guineas winner, Southport Tycoon, the start prior. Was vetted with a poor recovery for the Mick Price and Kent stable, shocked me. So 2,000 metres does suit, unsure, but, I think he was supported in that Guineas. The other one as well, if you want something a little bit funky, is Basilina. Now, she only gets warm out to 2,000 metres as well. So, and she was hunting in that Autumn Angel race as well. So if you want a filly, she might be your one.
She got specced in the Oaks, didn't she, a bit?
Yeah, I think so. She ran third?
Third to Athelflaed and obviously Zardozi. Where is Athelflaed?
Great question, mate. There's so many horses in this country. I can't keep track of all of them. Yeah, the Don Casbolt Classic, 1,200 metres, Group 3 for the 3-year-old fillies, open set weights and penalties. Oh, I reckon there's one here that could finally make the graduation from the University of Adelaide. That's Jubinenko at $13. Now, this filly used to get back in her runs a lot, but she's showing some tactical speed these days. Only just went down first up. $13, I think, is a big price. Barrier 2 will draws to do no work.
It is a big Mick price. This is a tricky race. There's two that I'm keen on. I'll make a decision closer to, and I might be leaning in a particular direction. And you guys will find out soon enough as to why. But number 4, Gumdrops, comes back to the scene of the crime of her win on Cox Plate Day, where I don't know how she won that race, to be perfectly honest. It was bizarre. But,
well, she lost for sure.
But it was a day for your boy. So Gumdrops.
I think she was friendless in the market that day as well, wasn't she?
Yeah, she's a big drifter.
Yeah.
Certainly didn't get the better price because I'm an idiot. She was good enough down the straight, I think.
I know the other one you're going
behind hedged. But she's a decent enough price at $8. There's a horse down the bottom here, number 13, Ismis. Geez, that's weird pronunciation. Why is it called that? Well, it's out of my girl Shoals. Ismis. I remember backing her when she debuted, and she didn't have much at all from memory. She actually ran third. Then I back to the next start, and she had none. But took her to Werribee, got her confidence up, wins there, take her to the Valley, wins there. Starting to sharpen up. My little daughter of Shoals, Ismis. Weird name. You might be wondering what Ismis actually is. I'm pretty sure it's like a school of fish or something like that.
I reckon we've Googled that on this podcast previously.
Sorry, no, it's not. Yes, we have. It's a narrow strip of land that connects two larger land masses and separates two bodies of water. There you go, drifters.
Yeah, right.
So they're the two, and
it's like a landing strip or something.
Yeah, definitely. Exactly. So look, I'll lean in one of those directions.
Yeah.
I need to chat to the victim on Friday.
You do that, mate. Let's go back to Rosehill. Race 2 on the program is the Mannion Cup, 2,400 metres, Group 3. Pardon me. Handicap. Am I a fool? Now there is an international here, Post Impressionist. Now this thing has to be targeted towards the Sydney Cup because it looks really, really slow.
Yeah.
So I'm actually happy to take it on in this instance. Am I a fool for backing Manzoice here? Am I?
No, you're not.
Because I feel like he's showing a little bit this prep.
Yeah, certainly more than what he showed last prep.
Yeah.
No, yeah, look, I couldn't talk you out of it.
Like soft ground. Like he's what I like to see in a stayer, right? And is, he was beaten 7.5 lengths first up, 2.1 to start next, and then only 2 lengths to start after. And he's stepping up in distance each time. So it's like, okay, I like seeing that. I don't know. I think Manzoice could be a bet here.
Mate, look, if you want to have a bet in this race, be my guest because I cannot. Like Canberra Legends, $8. Like,
yeah,
is it D-Day for this horse?
Pretty close to it. Like, how many? He's had what, 3 or 4? Yeah, this is his 5th start in Australia, and he got beaten half a length to Morfellins, Almania, and Bold Mac.
Yeah,
you're
looking at.
Before his debut run, I think they were touting this thing as being the Melbourne Cup favourite this year.
Yeah, there you go.
Please.
First time at this distance floating, but like I don't think that's the worst bet at $7.50.
Wet tracker.
Yeah.
Matthew Smith, when he finds a good one, you can back with confidence, but yeah.
So, might have to see what the source is doing because good luck.
Race 3, the Epona Stakes, 1,900 metres, Group 3 for the 3-year-old fillies and the mares. Open set weights and penalties. Now, I could be wrong here, but Verona, Foxy Cleopatra, honestly, I think there was one more. Was it like, maybe was it that one? No, I think that's about it. I think they're the only ones that did not go head-to-head last start. All of these were in that like Vart race. So, and which was one of the worst like black type races I've ever seen. So who was the flashing light from that run? I thought Premise was really good on the fence. Drawn barrier 6 here, Schiller on. Like, she hasn't won in a minute, but like she's finally starting to put something together. I thought Premise at $12 was a big price.
Yeah.
I'd be backing City of Lights, but she's 6th emergency.
Yeah. No idea, mate. Like I think, what did I back in that Lekvart race? I think I backed How Good Are You?
I think she's a good chance. Soft ground, I think, is
that's the concern. But she draws a nice gate. You know, that's stable. She'll roll forward. I don't think So Dazzling's the worst at 31s.
Yeah, I've kind of she's had her moments with me. So Dazzling. Osmo's like $3.90 favourite, can run on a bit. But she's drawn so well. So if you like Osmos, I kind of get it. But
I backed her every start last prep, didn't I? And she was good for a placing. So maybe this is the time to back her and get out of the casino.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Maybe like a bit of a roulette bet. I like that. So race 4 on the card is the Derby Munro Stakes, 1,200 metres listed, set weights, penalties. Now this is about the C graders taking on each other here. I thought the speed was obviously Red Resistance. Kaizad, the stablemate, not far behind, and the Novelist, the other stablemate, probably goes forward as well. Schwartz, J-Mac. Do you think there's a bit of hype around this horse?
There is. Need to see it. I think Brave Mead's the bet here.
Yep.
Draws well. Last time we went to the back, and it was one of those days where you just couldn't make ground off the leaders. He still ran on for second. Draws a nice barrier here. $4.60. I think he'll get the gun run in the race. He's a clear bet for me on the weekend. Brave Mead.
Yeah, okay. He's kind of like Brave Mead's kind of proven it as like a C grade sprinter. Would that be fair to say? You know?
Yeah, but there's nothing here that apart from probably Schwartz that makes me think that he can't beat him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like Schwartz, like he fell under pressure against Mahaba and Archo Nacho, right? Which Mahaba's beaten Brave Mead, so you can kind of like rope in that form reference. And then the next start on, I think it was Champions Day maybe for Schwartz, he went up against about the D and E graders and he absolutely gave him a galloping lesson. So kind of need to see it from Schwartz. Corniche. Now, I was extremely keen on this horse first up and just got too far back and got knocked off by about 30-1 pop. Now, he draws poorly, even worse here, has the top weight. Unsure where I'm going in this race. I would be physically ill if this horse wins, so I would probably have him on top. Another one that I did want to mention as well was number 12, Midnight Opal. So that horse and Robrick are coming out of that Estrella. Race the English Sprint down the straight. So I think Midnight Opal, you can forgive that run, didn't handle the straight. Robrick was really, really good. It was $20 in the market, but has some decent, like, again, D-grade sprinting form, but, you know, barrier 1 here, drawn to do no work.
Yeah, it could improve massively out of that.
What do I know? I don't know. It's a tough one, so come back to me. Now, race 10, Birthday Card Stakes. 1,200 metres, Group 3. We've been asking time and time again, where is Alentia? Here she is. $3.40. Barrier 6. James McDonald on. Now, she was half a length away from Samana. Samana then runs, second or third in the Cornwall Classic. Her best form has been first up, 6 weeks between runs. 5 weeks between runs, rather. Like, do I need to keep speaking here? Like, she
has to be the bet in the race.
Like, she needs to win this.
Has to be the bet in the race. Has to win this. Her biggest threat is Tashi, number 11.
Yes.
Form around Winchat, form around our Cobison. Gets a bit of weight relief. So that's the threat, but Alentia has to win this.
Yep.
And if she doesn't,
that's kind of never touch me again sort of stuff.
I can just see it being the last with the entire country.
My God, mate.
On J-Mac's back.
Yeah.
And just this thing getting jammed in.
Yeah.
And either there'll be jubilation or broken hearts. I can just see it now. It's $3.40 with Neds. I could see it being a $2.50 jump.
I'll make shorter. Honestly. Like, this is so again, all you have to do is watch this, and this is the only thing I've watched all week. Charlie Duckworth. Surely this is the bet of the week, Chris. Alentia in the last. And then Charlie said, actually, bet of the month. It's a bet of the month for Chris Waller's stable here, Alentia.
How's their strike rate recently?
But it's like, yeah, that's the thing. Like, so I said all this, right? Soft ground tick. 5 weeks between runs tick. Only giving 2.5 kilos to the bottom weights. J-Mac on, like, Barry 6. Like, she's deserved, like, favourite, and she'll be having some mine. Tashi, as you said, beat some really smart, like, geldings last start, so comes back to mare's grade. The other one, who's had a bit of a renaissance of late, number 15, Extravagant Star. So form around Shadows of Love, and she actually beat Home Bandy's Boy, who is going to be awfully hard to beat in the country championships final during the championships. So they're the two. I think they're close to the only ones that you need in the quaddie, but yeah, Alentia is very close to best of the day.
Has to be.
Or I'm really keen on that international mare via Sistina.
Yeah, I'm keen. I wouldn't say I'm like overly like, oh my God. I'd say the bet I'm looking most forward to collecting is the Sunshine Paris bet.
Hopefully you listen, because I think we gave her out at about $17.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I just can see it now.
Results for me that affect that multi that I gave out on the review podcast. Amenable, so I have him at $13.50 to place, so that I need that to happen. And Kitty Cat Tom.
I think that's a cracking bet this weekend.
Which with Militarize out, I'm happy, but then my Amenable bet gets a little so
I think Militarize is a great bet in that race as well.
Yeah.
I'm keen to play this weekend,
mate. And the
very
Stars,
keen.
Stars have a line because your boy's getting married. So, it's the last. It's almost like the Last Supper sort of stuff.
Effectively, there is one more pod to come pre marriage day.
True. Which we actually have to discuss that. So it won't be the vintage setup that you're used to, drifters, but there'll be at least 2 mics, potentially more, going up to the Sunshine Coast. So yeah, we'll put that out probably Sunday morning sometime, but potentially recording it right after the races. Who knows?
It'd be fresh in the mind.
Yeah. So, but very excited, mate. Should be good.
Yeah, very exciting. Very exciting stuff, drifters. Exciting weekend coming up for us and also for you because, gee, where's this card?
It's good stuff.
Enjoy.
Toodaloo.